And welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm John Barban, and Brock Purdy just got paid. I've upgraded the studio here, so I have light options. So we're going to go with the red, in celebration of Purdy's contract. And we put Iowa State on the wall. That's Purdy's alma mater, and he was instrumental in making them a bit. I don't know if you want to call him a powerhouse, but his 4 years at Iowa State changed that program, and he was outstanding there. If anybody watched them, but anyway, so he got paid today, and I think the news just broke. Like there's every NFL insider has reported in on it. So I don't even know who to credit as breaking the story. But so it's a 265 million, 181 guaranteed over 5 years, puts him seventh highest paid QB. Now this is interesting if you look at the QB list of the people paid higher than him. Number one is Dak Prescott, and the average. We're going to go like average value per year. Prescott's average per year is 60 million. Joe Burrow's second average per year at 55 million. Josh Allen's average per year is 55. Jordan Love's average per year is 55. Trevor Lawrence 55. Tua 53. And then Jared Goff 53, and Purdy, if you do the average per year thing, he fits in at right around 53. So you could put him whatever seventh-ish on this list behind or right at Goff. But if you look at the names ahead of him, head to head, he's got Prescott's number in the playoffs. Prescott hasn't beaten him I don't think Prescott's beaten him ever, regular season or playoffs. Joe Burrow, okay. Burrow I'd put ahead of Purdy for sure. Josh Allen, I'd put him ahead of Purdy. Jordan Love, I think the jury's out on Love if he belongs in the top 10 here. His pure talent is through the roof. There's no denying the pure talent. But is it going to manifest into playoff success, making it to NFC Championship games, Super Bowls? You would think so. I mean, it's all there. But, again, the team has to be there with him, and we'll have to see. But if I was betting on someone to actually get to the Super Bowl at some point, I would put my money on Jordan Love. And then the next person in the list, Trevor Lawrence, there's somebody I'm not so sure I would put my money on. He was such a highly touted recruit, but it just has not worked out. And he just got his $75 million deal. And head to head, I'd take Purdy over Lawrence, especially given his performance thus far. And I don't see why any reason for it to drop off. And then Tua is still technically slightly ahead of him as far as average salary per year. And I think everyone would take Purdy over Tua. I'm not even sure if Tua is going to last a couple more years in the league if he gets his bell rung once or twice more. And so and then Jared Goff. I think Goff kind of deserves the money. Purdy being on par with Goff, at least for average per year. I think that's totally fair. Anyways, so this puts him right up there with all of the big ones, like Herbert is right there, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. These are all 250-ish plus numbers. I think Jordan Love's maybe the only one that's not that. Love, Tua, and Goff are 220, 212-ish, 212, 220 million, but yearly average, they're in the 50 plus, which is the company Purdy is keeping here. And I think he deserves it. I know everyone says it's got to be, the fit, and is he just riding the coattails of a strong 49ers team? But, I challenge you to find any QB that can be successful with a bad team. Like every QB that makes it to the Super Bowl has a good team. You could say that maybe Mahomes could transcend that to some degree, but like nominally, and he had the best defense in the league, and he's had the best defense for a number of years now. So there's no such thing as the QB who is so good you just drop him on any team and that team immediately becomes a contender. It's got to be a pairing of a Super Bowl quality QB with a Super Bowl quality team, and that's when you get someone who can go on those kind of runs, which he's already proven he can. Let's not forget that his first trip in his rookie season, he went to the NFC Championship game, and the only reason, or at least we'll never know what happened, and we'll never know if he could have made it to the Super Bowl because he broke his elbow. And then coming off of that elbow injury, the next season he did go to the Super Bowl. So it's we're talking about a player who has that immediate impact and that immediate success that you see from the best of the best players. Like Mahomes steps in, immediate success. So, there's others that take some time to develop, but it doesn't take that long. Like Jaden Daniels, immediate success. CJ Stroud, immediate success. So and now I guess you could make the argument that other players take time to develop and can still have success, but I think it seems to be more common that if they're going to be really good and going to be Super Bowl caliber players, it happens kind of like right away, the way it's happening with Mahomes, the way it's happening with Purdy. Stroud hit the ground running, Jaden Daniels hitting the ground running. It's like it doesn't take long if they have the talent. Again, they're on good franchises, but if they have the talent and they're on a good franchise, it sort of happens really quickly, and that's kind of a repeating theme that's been happening for a while now in the NFL. So, I mean, I think he deserves every penny of it. He fits the Shanahan offense. And if you want to say, oh, it's just because he's on the Niners and Shanahan, well, that's good. Because now that he's on the Niners for another 5 years with Shanahan, and he clearly knows how to run Shanahan's system as effectively as any quarterback. I mean, how can you argue with 2 trips to the NFC Championship game and a trip to the Super Bowl in his first 2 years? And he will continue to improve. He will continue to get better within this system. Yes, last year was a mess, but they were missing multiple key players on offense. And given the way the Shanahan system works, you can't just take some of those people away and rejig the offense that quickly. McCaffrey is a bit of a unicorn. And I guess you could make the argument that, well, he's got the offensive player of the year in the backfield. Anyone could play well there. But offenses are designed around the skill set of the players. And when McCaffrey can do the things McCaffrey can do, Shanahan builds the offense, assuming his running back has got slot back receiver capabilities when he's running routes, which McCaffrey does. So he leverages the offense based on McCaffrey's talent. As soon as you take McCaffrey away, the other running backs don't have that slot back like type receiving skill. And then all of a sudden the offense completely changes. Then they were banking on Ayuk. He was gone. So, and then Trent Williams was in and out of the lineup. So there's a bunch of pieces that have to be in place to run the offense as it's constructed. But those pieces and the offense are built to complement each other. If they know they don't have McCaffrey, they'll rejig the offense to run it in a way that doesn't leverage McCaffrey's specific skill set. So for the people who say, oh, well, he's just got McCaffrey, it's like, well, yeah, but the offense is designed to work with McCaffrey. I'm sure Shanahan can design an effective offense without somebody at McCaffrey's skill level. He'll find a way to leverage the skill level of whatever back is back there. And even when McCaffrey was out, I think Mason was leading the league in rushing anyways, as the backup. So he knows Shanahan knows how to design an offense, and clearly he likes the way Purdy runs his offense. And his statistics prove it too. Purdy's in the top 5 in all the various QB statistic categories. And as far as the money, the salary cap's just going to keep going up. So this is probably in 2 or 3 years, mid contract. This is not going to look like a huge expenditure. It'll just look like an average top 10, 15 NFL quarterback contract. And I mean, if you want to compare it to some of the money other QBs have made, like we just did an episode about Derek Carr, he made $200 million in his career and never even won a playoff game. Purdy's already won four playoff games and has already been to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, postseason success is eventually how the best ones are evaluated for their careers. And Purdy already has a lot more postseason success than players who've made a boatload of money, like Kirk Cousins. He's made something like $300 million and he's won one playoff game in his whole career. So Purdy's already 4 past him and a Super Bowl appearance. So when you break it down to the few quarterbacks who've made it to a Super Bowl, there's not many in the league who've even made it to a Super Bowl, let alone in their first 2 years. And he obviously clearly can run this offense at a high efficiency and a high success rate when the players that are supposed to be in the offense are actually on the field. So I think this is good. They can settle in now, get to work, And Shanahan knows he's got a guy who's just going to continue to get better and better in this system, just like Mahomes gets better and better in the Andy Reid system, just like Brady got better and better with Belichick. I don't think, I just don't, I don't think there's any really merit to the argument of, oh, he's not a Super Bowl caliber quarterback because you couldn't just drop him on any team and win the Super Bowl. But I don't think anyone is that person. Do we think if you drop Mahomes on the Saints or Joe Burrow, I don't know, on the Panthers, they're automatically a Super Bowl caliber team? I don't think so. I think you still have to have a good management structure and a solid team around you. I just think that's what it has to be, and that's when you get a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. But they have a Super Bowl caliber team. Same with Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Like they go hand in hand, and the 49ers with Purdy when they're at full strength, just like the Eagles when they're at full strength, can beat anyone. And that's what I think this team is right now. If a couple of draft picks hit on defense, I think the offense should be okay, but a couple of draft picks really have to hit on defense for this season to go well. But as we discussed on our schedule podcast, the Niners have a pretty easy schedule. I guess it's the easiest if you're going to take last year's strength of schedule and project it forward and assume most of those teams are more or less going to perform similar. I'm sure obviously some will be up and some will be down, but overall it's reasonable to say that their schedule, if you can have a favorable schedule, they have one. So we'll see how this year goes, but I think it was worth the money, and I think he's going to put up huge numbers in this Shanahan offense over the next 5 years because he fits it perfectly, and he's Shanahan's guy, and the whole thing works really well with him at the helm. So I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. You think he deserved the money? I totally think he deserved the money. All right, and that's your Saturday versus Sunday podcast.